Okay. I think I have everything set up properly, but, you know. Sometimes I fuck up, so sorry if I fuck up. Today we are talking about... That is loud as shit. What the hell? Turn that down a little bit. I don't know if it's so loud for you guys or not, but it's super loud for me. Okay. So yeah, we got back from vacation about, I think like a week ago. I don't know why am I angry? I guess, okay. We got back from vacation like a week ago, and we want to talk to you guys about it. We got some pictures and some shit to go through, so if anything messes up, my bad. Obviously I'm gonna try to make sure it doesn't mess up, but you never know. So, let's start going through these, shall we? Okay. Some of these pictures are, like, super grainy and weird, by the way. I don't know what the fuck happened. Other people took some pictures, and the ones that I resized from them were grainy. So, oh well, I guess. So this is where we first arrived. We stayed in an Airbnb, so we had, like, a house to ourselves. And this vacation was with us, our parents, and our friend. And our dog came along. So this was our backyard. I don't have any other pictures of the Airbnb. I don't know, I just thought it would be kind of weird. But the pool was really nice, so I did want to show you guys that. This is obviously at nighttime when the lights were on and everything. I don't think I really spent any time out here just because we were so busy. But I did, like, I did check it out at least a little bit. We had so much to do that it just wasn't really viable to have a pool day, sadly. Our dog was also terrified of the water. We didn't know how he would react because he doesn't like baths or like spraying water or rain or anything like that, but a lot of times when we'll like take him on walks, he really likes to go in the creek, or at least he used to before his legs got bad. But he was terrified of the pool. At first he didn't even want to go outside to like go pee or anything. And then he just like, he would keep way as far away from the pool's edge as he could whenever he would walk outside. It was kind of funny. So I had like this bunk, I shared bunk beds with my friend in the Airbnb. And we ate breakfast there sometimes, but that was pretty much all we did. We would eat breakfast and then we would leave, and then we came back like at night and went in our room, chilled out a little bit, slept. So the Airbnb didn't get much use on our side, but I know my mom like spent time in the pool and stuff. Okay, so this is how I did the pictures. I chose a different color for each person so that it would be a little bit more obvious, I guess, as to who we're talking about. Obviously, the cyan one is us, Multi, with the little ears and stuff. I guess, or tendrils. Why did I say ears? The tendrils. But it's a little less obvious because I'm using my male model right now. But all of our custom models have the tendrils, so you should know that's Multi. The purple is our friend. I will just call her our friend, I guess, throughout this. I don't know if I want to connect real names or anything. And then in the, like, grayish blue, that will be our mom. And not pictured, because he was taking the picture, is our dad. And he is green in the pictures that he's in. So, this was also the day that we first got there. This is a restaurant called The Thirsty Pony, which I thought was really funny. It's a really weird name for a restaurant, but it's because they have, like, horse bedding there. So there's, like, this room, like, towards the front of the restaurant where you turn in, and they have a bunch of TVs on the wall, and it's all different, like, horse-type races and events. It was reminding me of that Horse Go game, honestly, that everyone's playing. I haven't played it yet, but it reminded me of that. And we did go in and we bet on horses and we all lost. Me and my friend chose the same number, and then my parents chose separate numbers, but none of us got the right number, which really sucks because I don't remember which headmate was out, but whoever it was like, maybe I should pick 3 this time, because I don't know why, but I'm drawn towards it. But then was like, no, but our lucky number is 6, so we went with 6, and then 3 ended up winning, so lame. I do have a picture. Outside they have, like, outdoor games and stuff. We didn't do that because we were all, like, starving at that point. We just wanted to go in and get food. This is inside the restaurant, and it was just kind of, like, booth seating. It's really just, like, a normal restaurant in the normal restaurant part, but they do have other stuff that I'll show a little bit later. The food, I liked the food, and my friend liked the food. Our parents weren't a big fan, but we got this weird, they called it Alfredo pizza, but it was, like, spicy. I don't know how to describe it. The food was good, though. I liked it. I actually got a box and saved it, and ate it later. ate half of my pizza once and half of it later. However, this was also our first time ordering a drink in a restaurant setting, because we've drank at home and stuff because we're over 21 now, but we never did it in, like, a restaurant, so that was awkward. I don't think the waitress thought we were actually over 21 until we provided our ID, which was kind of sad. We get mistaken as younger for our age a lot. And then when it did get there, I ordered kind of what I usually drink, which is Sprite mixed with, like, green apple schnapps, but they put it in club soda instead of green apple schnapps, and it kind of tasted terrible. Because the whole point of combining it with Sprite is so that the alcohol taste is slightly less, and it's, like, just like a normal drink, you know? But the club soda did nothing. It was, like, just watered down. It kind of tasted gross. The strawberry daiquiri, the strawberry daiquiris I heard were good, though. Then we went to this back area where they have this, like, big bowling alley. We didn't want to do bowling, but there was, like, a bunch of people in there that were doing bowling. And then they also had, like, a snack bar, and they had this, like, mini arcade, which we checked out, but there wasn't really anything we wanted to do. There was a cool, like, retro game, that I considered playing, but I didn't want to get a game card just for that, so we didn't end up playing at the arcade. But my dad and I did go and do laser tag. I've played laser tag before. It wasn't like an amazing laser tag place, but it did have, like, a lot of places to hide and stuff, so it was fun. I had a good time. I lost, which is kind of embarrassing, and it's even more embarrassing. It's even more embarrassing. I think Terror was the one playing, if I remember correctly. It's even more embarrassing, though, because our dad was pointing the gun, like, the wrong direction half the time, because he didn't realize it, because the guy that gave us instructions kind of sucked at his job. But it was fun. It was fun. I enjoyed laser tag. Oh, I should probably think. Was there anything else that we did this day? I don't think so. Because this was the day that we had to drive up, and it was a really long drive, so I think we just went to the restaurant and then went back to the Airbnb after. Because we had to get up early in the morning as we went to Cedar Point, which you see here. So getting in was super easy. You do have to pay for parking, like all-day parking, which is fine, it's expected. Unlike some amusement parks, it's, like, really easy to get through bag check and stuff. I've been to ones that were really terrible, and they would, like, not let you bring bags and shit. Cedar Point's super chill with it. They just have you go through a metal detector, and then they look through your bag, say, okay, you're good, have a nice day, and then you get in really easy. We got fast passes, and I would recommend doing this if you're able, like, if you're able to save up, or if you just have the money. I very much suggest you have fast passes for this park in particular. Some parks are really, like, easy to get through without them. Like, you can hit all the rides. Cedar Point, you will not. You'll not get to many, especially if you're, like, a big roller coaster person because they have a lot of big coasters there. You're not going to really get through anything if you don't spend the extra money and get the fast passes. They are very expensive, but they're really good. So some parks will have you, like, at a specific time you have to get to the coaster. You don't have to do that. You can use it at any time you want to, and it's for... There's one level that's most of the coasters, and then there's another level that adds, like, 6 more, I think, of the, like, top hitters. And you can go on them as many times as you want with your fast pass. So, highly recommend doing that. The next thing that they've implemented that is kind of new, because we have been here before, since the last time we've been there, they've added new locker policies, and they're actually not bad. They're really worth it, to be honest. So a lot of times roller coasters will have little cubbies, and when you're getting onto a ride, you have to put, like, your phone, your keys, your wallet, your bag, anything like that into a cubby. And most of the Cedar Point rides still do have these, but they are small, so it can cause some problems if you have something bigger, like we were carrying a backpack with us all day, and obviously you can't fit that a lot of times in the smaller cubbies. So what Cedar Point has come up with are these things called movable lockers, and I haven't seen this at any other amusement park. I'm sure others have them, especially ones that are under the same company, but this is the first amusement park that I've ever been to that had them. Basically what they are is there's lockers that are stationed outside of most of the bigger rides, and all the bigger rides that you have to get a separate locker for if you have something bigger. All of those ones are covered with locker stations that are, like, right near the entrance. So you go and you go to this kiosk thing, and you come up with a locker code, which is like your individual locker number, and you pay $12, or I think it was actually like 15, but 12, 15, whatever. You pay for the locker, and then you are able to use it for that ride. They normally give you like 2 hours, which is, I think, because people who don't have fast passes, like, it can take you that long to get through a line if it's one of the big hitter rides. So they'll give you like 2 hours for it to expire, and all you do is you go, you put your things in there, you go into the line, you ride your ride, you come back, and you get your things out of the locker. But then the cool thing is, you don't have to pay again for another locker. What you do is you'll go to your next ride, you'll go to the kiosk again, you'll enter that locker code that you made, and they'll give you a new locker at the new location. So you don't have to, like, number one, you don't have to pay for a locker that's just, like, some random place and you have to leave your stuff the whole day. You don't have to do that here. And you also don't have to pay separately for every locker that you have to go to. So I thought that was nice. This is the first ride that we went on. It's called the Gatekeeper. It's not my favorite ride at the park. It's slightly overwhelming, but it is very smooth. So if you have, like, motion issues and stuff like that, Gatekeeper is really nice for that. I will also say that I'm, like, a huge adrenaline junkie. Like, I've ridden every scary ride you can imagine. So for a lot of people, Gatekeeper will be scary. I'm just an adrenaline junkie. I'm a thrill seeker. What can I say? Oh, that's really blurry. Holy shit. I don't know what happened there. That was me and my friend in front of the sign, but I'm gonna go back to that nice picture. To talk a little bit more about the other rides. The Gatekeeper was our first real roller coaster that we rode. But we did ride the Max Air first, which is... What do they call those? I think pendulum rides? Is that what they're called? Pendulum ride? Yes, a pendulum ride. So, it's like a big giant swing, and it has a wheel on it, and the wheel slowly spins, and it goes, like, back and forth and upside down and stuff. They have them at carnivals and stuff sometimes, but I wouldn't trust those because I saw one break one time and I don't like carnival rides anymore. Especially the big ones. But yeah, we rode that. That was technically our first ride of the day. What was supposed to be our first ride, though, is a ride called the Raptor, and it's a hanging ride and it, like, goes upside down and stuff, but it's closed for the season, apparently. We didn't know that. But yeah, it was closed. Sad. We didn't get to ride it. But we did get to most of the other rides in the park, so I won't complain too much. The next ride that we rode was actually a smaller coaster, but it's really fun. It's called the Wild Mouse. They just revamped it. So you're like... It's like the Wild Mouse, Wild Cat, any other... those wild thing rides. Where they're like super zippy. They're like smaller coasters, but they're really zippy. It makes you feel like you're gonna fly off the ledge. And this one like spins for most of the time, so it won't make you really motion sick if you get prone to motion sickness. But luckily we took motion sickness meds, and our friend simply does not get motion sick. I don't know how. She can ride anything and literally be like looking down at her phone in the car and stuff. I can't without medicine, but that's the next ride that we rode. She didn't think she was gonna like it, but then she did. She was like, I don't know if I wanna wait in the line for it. I was like, we're not gonna be waiting in lines for anything else. Why not? And yeah, we both ended up having fun. Then in the back here, you can see the Windseeker. The Windseeker is a huge tower thing. But it's not a throw ride, actually. Well, I guess it depends on your definition. It's not... It's only a throw based on the height. It's not, like, based on anything else. It's not scary. It just takes you up in, like, these chairs, and then it, like, spins around. But you're, like, sitting with your, like, feet dangling, so that might be scary to people who are scared of heights. I was scared the first time that I went on it, but it's actually really chill. We didn't get to ride it this time because it was temporarily closed when we went by it the first time, and then we kind of ran out of time to loop back around to it. We got to the park later than we should have, technically, but that's okay. We got to the ones that we really wanted to get to, and that's what matters. There's another picture. They were having these boardwalk nights. We didn't get to do them, but they were having boardwalk nights while we were there, and they had, like, all these, like, set-up things. This is actually the mascot for that Wild Mouse ride, but it wasn't by the Wild Mouse, which was kind of odd, but I don't know. I won't question it. Let me see. Where do we go next? Okay, I'm remembering now. We cut through back to, like, the main area. And we went on this ride. Well, we were gonna go on the Iron Dragon. The Iron Dragon is like a smaller family coaster type thing. But it's kind of like a step in between because it's not super... It's not like for kids. It's not a kid's ride. But it's also not a big roller coaster. So it's like mid-sized. It's nice. But that was also temporarily closed. We were like, what the hell is happening? And at this point we were getting kind of upset because we were like, what the hell? We spent so much money. But we did end up riding that one later anyway. Now, what we rode instead is very much not a smaller family ride. It is their newest ride, and it's called Siren's Curse. And it is actually my new favorite roller coaster. Second favorite that I've ever ridden. First favorite at Cedar Point. It's actually not that tall, which is surprising because normally I go for the really big ones. But what's interesting about Siren's Curse is it has two dynamics that you don't normally see. I don't have a picture of it. We got a professional picture that like they take on the rides, but I didn't add it to the slideshow. So how can I describe this? I guess first I'll explain the storytelling aspect of the ride, because that's the part that I really liked about it. The ride has a story. And they tell you the story while you're riding it. And so there's like speakers on the back of your seat. And when the ride first starts going up the hill, you hear like this siren song. And it's like luring you in as you're going up. As you round to the top of the hill, you kind of stop, and this siren character comes on, and she's like, you've been lured in by the siren's curse, your fate is with us now. And then the fucking track comes off of the piece that it was just on, and it tilts. So it tilts at, I think, a 90-degree angle, and it holds you there for a minute. So you're just fucking dealing with it. This is the scariest, arguably one of the scariest rides I have ever been on, just because of that. Because your track is literally, the track is moving. The track should not move. Roller coaster tracks don't normally do that. And you're staring down at the track in front of you, and you're just dangling there from your seat, which is kind of terrifying. And they hold you there for a while. It's not like they don't pussy out. But then they drop you, and this, like, heavy metal music plays, and the heavy metal music plays throughout the rest of the ride, so that part's really cool. I think more rides should go with, like, harder hitting themes and stuff like that. I really enjoyed it. The only thing I've been on similar to it was, I would say, like, Rock and Roller Coaster. I think they had one at Disney, and then at Disney World, and then they have one that's similar at Universal, where they, like, play the music. But this is such a different experience with the, like, the whole storytelling and the changing soundtracks, and it's really, really cool. Highly recommend. This ride has also been getting a lot of bad publicity, because it's had to evacuate multiple times now because of the tilt function, and that means that people have to climb down the stairs. So I was really scared to ride it because I really didn't want to get stuck, but it ended up being okay. We didn't get stuck. I don't think it got stuck the whole day that we were there. And it is, honestly, it's kind of average for roller coasters to be doing that when they first come out. This is the first time it has ever been opened. It just means that the safety functions are working properly. So, really got to look at it that way. After the Siren's Curse, we were able to ride that Iron Dragon ride that I talked about. Then we went to the Millennium Force, which is my second favorite, tied for my second favorite ride at the park. But it did get stuck. It didn't get stuck while we were on it, but it got stuck while we were waiting in line. So they had to come and fix the ride, and we had to wait there for a long time, and we didn't have our phones because of the stupid locker thing. So the waiting in line wasn't great, but I do love the Millennium. It's the second tallest coaster that they have there, and it's super smooth. It's also my mom's favorite. It was there when she was in college, which is kind of crazy. It's crazy that it's still so, like, smooth and beloved. A lot of roller coasters will get rough after they've been around for a long time, but this one wasn't at all. It was cool. After that, I think that's when we had to backtrack, because we had to go the opposite way. The Rougarou is also down by there, but that was the second and only ride that was, like, closed for the day while we were there. They've been having, Cedar Point has been having a lot of, like, breakdown issues and stuff, and I've heard a lot of people complaining about it. It wasn't too bad when we were there, just because most of them were temporary. I'm not really sure what's going on there, but it is what it is, I suppose. So we doubled back, and then we rode the Power Tower, which I always forget how tall it is, because it doesn't look that tall when you're standing there, but then when you're on the ride and it just keeps going up, it's really tall. It's 300 feet. It's 300 feet in the air. And then they drop you. And before you're being dropped, when you're just sitting at the very top, looking down, realizing that you're going to be dropped, it fakes you out. It fakes you out like 3 times before it actually drops you. It, like, pretends to drop you. It's so rude. But it's really, really fun. I love it. Best drop tower I have ever been on. And they have 2 options, too. They have the scarier option and the less scarier option. Me and my friend rode the scarier option, but they have a less scary option where it, like, kind of, like, bounces you down, so you're not, like, just getting, like, full adrenaline rush, plummeting to your death kind of feelings. And then we were supposed to ride the Top Throw 2, which is the tallest roller coaster in the world. It is 500 feet in the air at its tallest point. It goes backwards up a hill, and then it goes forward up a hill, rolls backwards down that hill, rolls backwards down another, like, uphill, so you're like you're going backwards, but it's like all the way up a second hill, and then they let you go forward down that hill, and then up the real hill and down the. It's complicated. It's a complicated thing to explain, but it's huge. It's a huge ride, and they blast you off like 3 times, so it's probably their most popular ride there. I think it's the longest line that you'll have to wait in. I think when we were there, it was like an hour and a half long line for the normal tickets. We didn't get to go on it right then though, because it was closed down temporarily for maintenance. And so we were like, okay, we'll go back to it. It's fine. And so we didn't get to ride it then. We went on the Magnum next, and let me tell you, I used to really like the Magnum when I was a kid. The Magnum is just your typical roller coaster. It's not really anything, like, it doesn't have any, like, special dynamics to it or anything. But the ride was just different this time. I think after many, many years of it being in service or whatever, because it was literally in service the first time my dad ever went there, and he was, like, young. I don't know if he was in high school or college, but one of the two. And it's showing its age now, which is really sad, because it used to be a really good roller coaster, but now it is extremely rough, and so if you're prone to getting headaches or anything like that, you're not gonna have fun. It wasn't extremely bad for us, but it did give us a slight headache. And the other thing is they have their lap bars on the bunny hills are extremely rough now, to the point where, like, I thought I was gonna have bruises on my legs. So it's not the best experience anymore, unfortunately. I think if they changed some of the tracking, it would probably be fine. It's just because it's been worn down over the years that it's not great anymore. The same thing happened to the corkscrew, like, years ago. The corkscrew is, like, notoriously bad now. We didn't even try to ride it this time, because it's so bad. After that, we rode the Gemini, which is just a chill wooden coaster. It was fun. It used to be, like, a racer type ride, but they were only letting, like, one train go through this time, so we didn't get to race the other train. Sad. No, it wasn't. It wasn't actually sad that I didn't get to do that, but something to keep in mind, I guess, if that's what you're into the Gemini for. I don't know. Shit, what do we do next? I think we rode... I don't remember which one we rode next, so I'll just go in order of my pictures. Oh, we did cross through Camp Snoopy at one point, before that, and so we had to get a picture with the Snoopy statue. Again, sorry, it's blurry. I did what I could. But yeah, the compression got weird on some of these pictures. But we get a picture with the Snoopy statue every time we go, pretty much. Anytime we go, I should say. We don't, like, live super close, so it is a drive. I'm just letting you know that this is not a doxable location, and if you go to Cedar Point area looking for me, you won't find me. That's why we had an Airbnb and stuff. Just making that clear. We also had to cross through a tunnel at this point to get over this other area, and there was a little mini Jesus. So I'm personally not religious, but some of my headmates are, and my friend was, and so we thought it was funny that someone put a little tiny Jesus in there for us to find. Okay, this is the next ride that we rode. Either this or the next one that I'll talk about. I don't remember which order it was in. But this is my tied for second place with the Millennium ride. The Steel Vengeance is so cool. It's built on a hybrid basis, so originally this ride was actually just a wooden coaster, but the wooden coaster got really worn out. You know how I was talking about the Magnum earlier? This happened really bad with the Mean Streak, which is the ride that used to be in this spot. And people weren't riding it anymore because it was giving people headaches and stuff. So they completely revamped it. They made it into a hybrid style coaster, which means it has steel tracks, but it's built on top of wood. And so we really like this one. They've added so many cool twists and stuff, and this ride is also the longest one at the park because it was built on that original wooden coaster, and the original wooden coaster was really, really long. And so they have, like, a lot of stuff that they added in, like, all these little, like, super tight corkscrews and stuff. It's also super smooth, like, it won't give you a headache or anything. It's so cool. It's so good. I loved it the first time we rode it. Loved it this time, too. There's something else I wanted to say about the Steel Vengeance. Oh, we think there was, like, a drunk lady in line in front of us. Because she kept being really weird. At first she was being really weird because she got caught in the metal detector, and then she was, like, touching support beams and being like, whoa, because it was, like, vibrating. I don't know if she smoked something or something. Her behaviors were odd. But after the Steel Vengeance, we rode the Maverick, which I always get that name mixed up with the Magnum. But the Maverick is another steel coaster. It's starting to get a little rough, but it's not bad. It has this really cool section in it where you, like, slow down in this, like, old railroad tunnel, and, like, the lights are flashing like a train is coming, and then it, like, blasts you off, so it's really cool. I think it's supposed to be, like, I think it's named after, like, a horse, if I remember correctly. So, once we got off the Maverick, we went and we got some ice cream. We got Dippin' Dots. I think both of us got the banana split flavor, because they didn't have cotton candy. She wanted cotton candy, but they didn't have it, so we just both got banana split. And their sizing is crazy. They have this, like, kitty cup, but it is literally just a normal thing of ice cream, and so we both ordered the kitty size. I was like, why do we have to call it the kitty size? Why can't you just call it a small? Make me feel self-conscious about getting the kitty size of ice cream. But while we were doing that, we were, like, checking up on the, like, Top Thrill and trying to look at statistics and stuff on the phone, because we were still really wanting to ride this ride. This is the biggest ride of the park. It is the first time we ever rode it since it's revamping as the Top Thrill 2. So we really, really, really wanted to get on it, but it was still saying that it was closed down. So we were like, well, that's really disappointing, but we do have a couple other rides that we can ride. Like, there were some wooden rides and some stuff like that. So we went on this other, like, pendulum ride, but it's not the same as the Max Air. I don't remember what it's called, but it just goes back and forth. But they're like giant swings. It's like, that's what it's like. It's a giant swing set, essentially, but it's made out of steel, so you're not, like, on a rope swinging. Just to clarify, you're not, like, in danger, but it, like, almost goes upside down and stuff. It's really cool. It was fun. A little short, but fun. And then we got off of that, we start walking back towards where some of the other smaller rides were. We're still kind of disappointed, because the Top Thrill 2, you know, we really wanted to ride that ride. And then we look over, and the fucking Top Thrill 2 was going again, baby! So we got in line, like, immediately. We literally ran there. We actually went to the wrong locker place and put our lockers into the Magnum's locker space, because we got overly excited and forgot where the lockers were for the Top Thrill 2. But we got on it. It was fun. I did like it. It's a little bit rougher than it used to be. It used to be, like, super smooth, and I wasn't expecting that. But it wasn't bad. It wasn't, like, headachy. It was just different. It's more of a terror ride that you do for the experience, is what I would consider it. I think I have a picture of it. Yeah, there we go. I have a picture of it. This second the other picture is supposed to be another picture of the Top Thrill. I don't know what happened there. This one should be the Top Thrill, but as well. I got this after when we were leaving the park. That's just one of the hills of the Top Thrill. And in the background there, that white, like, obelisk thing, that's the power tower that is 300 feet in the air. So compare that to the hill on the dragster, and you can tell how genuinely terrifying that ride actually is. And this was our second to last ride of the night, the Top Thrill was. It's really just scary. It doesn't have, like, any come down time, it's just terror the whole time. But it's fun. If you like adrenaline, you'll enjoy it. And then for our last night of the ride, we decided to go on the Siren's Curse again, because we both liked it so much. It was our favorite ride. Both of our favorite rides by the end of the day, so we decided to go on it again. We took our chances on having to walk down the stairs at night. Because we wanted to ride it. We were choosing between that and the Valve Run, which we accidentally skipped earlier. But we decided the Siren's Curse was more worth it, so we rode the Siren's Curse again. And that ended out our day at Cedar Point. We walked back, and my friend had to go to the bathroom, so she tried to go to the bathroom, but they locked the bathrooms before they closed the park. And the rides were still going and stuff, so it wasn't like it should have been closed, but they closed the bathrooms, and so she had to wait, and that was sad. We got Dairy Queen for dinner. I didn't mention where we went for lunch. We went for lunch at this 50s diner place, but it was super crowded, and we didn't get inside seating, which was kind of sad. But we did steal a table outside, which was not sad. I had a really socially awkward moment when we were eating. So I got fries and chicken tenders, and seagulls will come and they'll beg you for food all the time. I did not feed the seagulls. However, there was a cute little tiny sparrow that kept like tilting its head at me, and I felt kind of bad for it because all the seagulls were getting fries. So I picked a tiny piece off so that it like, I don't think birds are really supposed to be eating fries, but they do all the time at amusement parks. But I just broke off a teeny tiny piece, and I went to throw it to the bird, and this lady walked into my hand, and she gave me, like, she glared at me, and was like, "Listen, lady, you came from behind me. How was I supposed to know you were walking there? It was not even, like, a normal pathway. She was, like, squeezing in between our seat. Not my bad, but also not my bad. You shouldn't have glared at me like that. Look where you're going next time, maybe." Lighthearted. So yeah, we went there and then we came back to the Airbnb and we slept and my feet were killing me. We got new tennis shoes before we went and we didn't break them in, and so I think that like caused problems. One of my toes was like numb for a long time afterwards. It was kind of weird. But I looked it up and it was like pinched nerve from not wearing accurate shoes. So that kind of sucked. But the next day we went to this animal park place where you drive through it. And so it's like a drive-through safari, and we were really nervous because some of these animals had horns and we were scared that they were going to dent our car because we were using a rental car. But they didn't, so yippee. No rental car scratches. So this is the first guy that I got to feed. My hand's not in that picture. That's my dad. My dad's feeding him first. I was sitting in the back with my friend because the windows were bigger back there and everything. And we could also then just not focus on having to drive and stuff, So there's the cute first guy that I got to feed. And my mom was all like scared because of his horns. She was like, "Don't let him scratch the car, please." So these are the first guys that you see when you drive in, and you're allowed to like pick how much food you want. They have pellet foods and they also have lettuce, so we did like mixed feedings. After you drive through that area, there are a lot of deer, and you will be feeding the deer for a long time. There's like all different kinds of them. There's like deer, normal deer, there's antelope, there's, I don't know, other deer-like things. But that's like the majority of the drive-through area is these guys. I didn't mind it. I just know that if you were expecting more variety, just know that it's mostly deer. They're really cute though. They're so calm. This is a baby deer that I got a picture of. And then the other guy with the really cool horns, I didn't know what he was up to. But they were like almost fuzzy. I thought he was kind of majestic, There's more deer. I think this is the last picture that I have of them because I tried to pair up animal pictures if they have the same animal in them. Once we got out of the deer area, we got to like llamas and cows, and so I got to feed them to... I have a lot of videos from the animal park, but I didn't get to add them to the slideshow because I couldn't get them, like, to actually transfer over to my computer. I'm gonna try to make, like, a little compilation video for you guys of the videos that we got, but we just got still pictures for now. Sorry. After these guys was zebras, and we couldn't reach them to feed them. I'm not really sure why. They were behind a fence. We couldn't feed them. We weren't allowed. So, I just have a picture of them. And then, after that, we drive up to the giraffes. This is my dad again. Me and my friend fed him lettuce, but my dad fed him pebbles, I guess it looks like. I don't know, or maybe he just grabbed the leaf already. Because you still have to feed them from the cup even if you're giving them a leaf. That's what you're supposed to do anyway. My dad broke the rules in that first picture. No snitching. No snitching! Don't tell people. And, yeah, my friend got that really funny picture of him with his lip up, so I had to add it even though it's basically the same as the other picture. And then there was this guy, and he was also behind bars. He could not be fed. Kinda sad. Couldn't feed him. He looked sad. He had some friends in there, but I think they were all, like, chilling back in that little, like, sheltered area. A lot of the animals were lounging and stuff since they had been, like, fed all day. We still got big groups, though, coming up to us. Then we have the camel. And the camel's really funny because he steals cups. I don't know if this is, like, something they have trained him to do or what, but the camel will literally steal your entire cup. It doesn't matter how hard you try to hold on to it, he will yank it out of your hand, and then he eats the contents and drops the cup by the road. And there was a lady that was, like, going over and picking up the cups that he made people drop. Okay, so this was the end of the drive-thru part, and then we got to leave and go to their, like, normal little zoo area, because they have a small zoo area as well. And the lady, we had lettuce left over, and we were like, hey, are there any animals inside that we can feed? Because we know that some of the animals you can, like, pay to feed them. And she was like, no, sorry, there's none. She lied to us. I'll tell you what animal it is when we get to it. But she lied to us. There was an animal there that eats lettuce, and it's the same lettuce that you get in the cups. So we could have fed that animal too, but they didn't let us. Sad. So this is the first enclosure. It has a bunch of ibises in it. I think there's also supposed to be a sloth in here somewhere, but I didn't notice that when we were like, actually here. I didn't realize that, but I think this is where they keep their sloth. Because we kept looking for where the sloth enclosure would be, and it wasn't... It should have been, like, right around here. I think the sloth must be in with the birds. Then we have these porcupines, and they're literally some of the cutest animals I've ever seen. Look at them. I've never seen a porcupine up close, at least not recently, maybe when I was little. But there's even this little albino guy back there, and he's the dad. So I don't know if these are his children or if they're his, like, harem of wives. But he was so interesting to me. I loved him. And so my mom and I actually paid to feed them. My friend had already been here before, so she didn't want to do it. And my dad didn't care. We were like, you're gonna be our cameraman. So I actually have a video of us feeding them. You get these little ladles. They give you a ladle, and it has little carrots and apples and stuff in it. And you just hold it down and give it to the porcupines from that little, open door thing that you can see in the picture. I made sure to feed the albino father. And a couple of the other ones. And it's only $5. So I didn't think that was that bad. Pricing-wise. Then there's these lemurs on a lemur island. And you can also pay... We didn't have any coins with us. We only had cards, sadly. So we didn't get to feed... There's like koi fish all in that water that's around the lemurs habitat. But we didn't get to feed them because we did not have coins. Oh, I accidentally skipped the albino alligator. Sorry. Didn't mean to be disrespectful of the albino alligator. His stuff is all shaded, and I'm guessing that's because of his skin. He, like, has, like, a roof over his head and everything. and he has like a back area. A lot of these enclosures look kind of small, but that's because it's like their quote unquote display areas. Most of the animals that have the smaller enclosures have like buildings that they can go into to get away from the people. And that's what the gator had. He's sitting beside his little swamp water. He's just chilling. Then there were macaws, and they were kind of just out in the open, so I'm not sure if they have, like, clipped wings or not. I know that's, like, a debated topic. I don't know, maybe they just don't fly away. But they were there, and they were cute. They were both in pairs, so the little red guys stayed together, and then the green and the blue. Then there were capybaras, but they were way far away from us in their enclosure. This is, like, super zoomed in. Because they were, like, lounging together. So we didn't get to see the capybaras up close, which was kind of sad, because I was really excited to see a capybara for the first time in my life. But they were all back there. They were all chilling. Good for them, I guess. They can have their chill time. That happens at zoos. It is what it is. This is the lettuce. This is the lettuce animal. It's the tortoises. People could go in there and feed them lettuce, but they didn't let us keep our lettuce, and we didn't want to pay for more, so we didn't feed the tortoises. But we did get to look at the tortoises, and we got to see, there were like a bunch of little kids running around. That's like why my picture is so awkward, because I didn't want to get, like, up-close pictures of kids. Because that would have been weird. Then there were these monkeys, and in these pictures they look really sad, but the black one did not look sad when he was actually there. I don't know, I think he's, like, looking at something on his branch, but he was swinging around and playing on, like, his little slide and stuff when he was in there. The brown one did seem sad to me. I'm not really sure why, but he was, like, watching everyone from that position, like, the whole time. He, like, yearned to get out and see the humans or something. I don't know. He seemed sad. He has a sad face. Then there were kangaroos, and they were also kind of far away. It was a hot day outside, and it was, like, getting to the end of the zoo day, so I think that's why they were all, like, away. There was also this little baby Joey. We saw a baby Joey, but the picture that I got was really bad, so I didn't include it in this one. You couldn't really tell that it was a baby, but it was a baby. There was a baby kangaroo. Oh my god. This is really silly, but this might have been one of my favorite parts of it. I think the porcupines were my actual favorite animal that we got to see, but this bunny enclosure was so cool. It's like, it's a walk-through place, but they have, like, rope fencing so that the rabbits can get, like, away from the people if they want to. And I've never seen this at, like, a zoo before. Really, I've never seen, like, wild... They're not really wild. They're like, domestic rabbits in a wild habitat. And I think the picture of them cuddling is one of the cutest pictures I've gotten of anything in my entire life. Look at them. They are literally babies, and they look like they're sleeping on trash, which is kind of sad, but they did cold water bottles. They put cold water bottles in some of the burrows so that they could cool down. So he's not actually laying on trash, they're laying on cold. And then the other one has a little baby bunny sticking out of the burrow. There are actual burrows and stuff that they go into, but obviously I wasn't gonna stick my phone into a burrow, so I just got pictures of the ones that were, like, in their little, like, logs and stuff. That's where the two that are cuddling are at. And the other two were just, like, at the top of their burrow. There's other pictures of the baby, because I thought the baby was really cute. And you can also see another one of those log formations with other rabbits inside. They're not as cute as these guys, though. These guys were some of my favorites. Look how freaking cute they are. Oh my god. Then there was a goat petting area. They did have food to feed them, but we've fed goats before, so we didn't buy it. That's a little baby goat that stuck its head through the fence because it wanted me to pet him. And you're allowed to. You're allowed to go and pet these guys. And then there's also a budgie enclosure. And, well, I guess it's more of an aviary because they do have peacocks in there as well, but it's mostly budgies. And they have little budgie sticks that you're allowed to feed them, but we didn't get any of those either. We just, after spending on multiple things, we just decided we're going to feed one animal, and that was the porcupines. My music has stopped. Hold on just a second. I have to close this first. I gotta restart my music. I didn't think it would take this long. Oops. Let me restart my music so it's not just awkward silence. Play over again. Thank you. Oh wait, should get back to my PowerPoint first. I literally closed you guys off so you wouldn't see the rest of the stuff, and then I was just gonna show it to you anyway. Go here. There. Back to your vacation presentation. Let's see. So there were peacocks in here, and there were also lots and lots of budgies. They were also getting fed, so they were eating like all their bird seed and stuff. There are huge flocks of them. This one lady who bought food for them had like them all over her arms. It was cool. I've seen these things for like lorikeets before, but I've never seen a budgie enclosure, which was really cool. There in the grass picture, there's a peahen, which is the female variant of a peacock. If you didn't know that it existed, they're actually brown. They're not like colorful like the boys are. I thought that was cool because I've never actually seen one before, I don't think. This guy, the picture is really blurry, but it's because I had to zoom in a lot. I had to show you him because he was eeping. He was sleeping on this little log, and he was the cutest little thing ever. Look at him. He's so eepy. And then there were more budgies. That's my friend trying to get one to go in her hand, but they wouldn't. There was another peacock in there that's albino, I think. I don't know that there's any normal white peacock breeds, but maybe. I think it's another albino. And then there's a budgie that I got on my hand. My parents didn't go in with us at this point because my mom was super hot. She needed to get inside because she has heat sensitivity. But me and my friend went into the budgie enclosure together. And she didn't get a bird, but I did. Haha, loser. I'm just teasing. But I did get the little bird. And look how cute he is. Very precious. I kind of want one. And then the last thing that we went to see was the giraffes. And I think it's the same giraffes that are in the other area. This is just a different part of their enclosure. They're just chilling all the way in the back there. And they have a giraffe skeleton to show their anatomy, which was kind of funny. Then we went to the gift shop. Oh, I didn't include my gift shop picture. I got a capybara stuffed animal, and I got a peacock stuffed animal. And my peacock is named Elton. And my capybara I still haven't named yet. I think maybe Kara or something, but we haven't decided on the capybara's name. Then after we were done at this place, we decided to go down to the lake. And so we went down to the lake part that's like right beside Cedar Point. Some of these pictures are from the day before, actually, because when me and my friend were at Cedar Point, my dad and my mom just went down to the beach to relax, or the lake, whatever. It's like a beach. But yeah, so some of these pictures are technically from the day before, but I didn't feel like trying to figure out which ones I took and which ones she took and everything, so I just put them all together. This is definitely one that I took because that boat was there when we were there. This is a picture of Hotel Breakers, which you have to, like, walk around to get to the beach. We didn't actually stay here, but my mom got a picture of it, so figured I'd add it. This is where we've stayed most often when we've gone to Cedar Point before. Cedar Point, there's, like, multiple places that we have, like, gone to multiple times as our vacation spots. Because our family doesn't like to travel super far. Well, I guess we're not, like, cross-country or international travelers, I should say. Because we do travel, like, our half of the country, I would say. Or at least throughout our time zone, at least. We've been to Florida multiple times, the area where, like, Disney World and Universal and stuff are, and we've been to Gatlinburg, Tennessee multiple times, which was our last vacation, Zatsu, and we've been to Cedar Point multiple times. Those are the ones that we've, like, doubled up on. We've been to lots of other places, but those are the ones that we really liked enough to come back to. This is the beach from one angle. This is like when you're walking onto it. And that's a live band playing music in there. Some people might not like that. I liked it. I thought it was nice. But if you're trying to just, like, relax on the lake side, you probably won't like it as much. Because they don't play, like, relaxing music, really. This is from the other point of view. This is looking back at the breakers, and at Cedar Point itself, you can see the power tower and the top thrill there. I'm not sure what that other ride is to the left. That might be Siren's Curse, actually. I'm not sure. That's more pictures with all the seagulls. Sorry, these are blurry. These must be from my mom's. She was, like, feeding them cranberries. I was like, what are you doing? She got this, like, fruit thing because she was really hungry in between going from the park to the zoo park to here. And so she was feeding them cranberries. I was like, what are you doing? And this is the water. And then this is where me and my friend spent most of the time. My parents just stayed on the sand and relaxed, but me and my friend went swimming in the lake. We were there pretty much the whole time. We maybe spent like 15-20 minutes just lounging on the beach, but the majority of our time was spent in the water. We were just swimming and talking and stuff. I don't get out into the water very often. It's just not really my thing, but I do like it when I do it. And then we decided to go and eat at Five Guys. They have like a Five Guys attached to the Hotel Breakers place. So when we were done, we went and we changed in the bathrooms, and then we went to Five Guys. And it was really cold in there, and it took so long to get our food. I was kind of sad. And the food wasn't amazing. But that's also because we're picky, and so we pick, like, blandish foods, I guess. We got the same thing as our dad this time. We got the fish and chips, but the fish were kind of bland. The fries were really good. They have really good fries there. Wasn't a big fan of the fish, though. Their mac and cheese is good, too. I like their mac and cheese. And then, on our drive back, this is not a place that we went, but I thought the lighting was really cool. It's like this resort place that's also owned by Cedar Point, I guess. I think it's called Castaway Bay or something like that. But it's a huge resort. I've never been there, but I thought the lighting looked cool, so I wanted to show it. And that was our last day we were there. The next day we had to get up really early to check out of the Airbnb and everything, and then we drove back home. So, that is the end of my Zatsu. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to say, but I don't think there was. Let me make sure I didn't miss any of my Cedar Point experience. I don't think I did, but I'm gonna go through the rides real quick. I like giving my opinion on them, so you know if you should ride them or not. I don't think I missed anything, but we'll see. There's so much to do there. Cedar Point is also great if you have kids, because they have like 3 different kiddie lands and a ton of rides in them. And they have 3 mini coasters. So they have the Iron Dragon, which is like a step in between mini coaster. And then they have family rides like the Gemini and the Cedar Creek Mine Ride are both like family wooden ones. But they have 2 kid coasters too. What used to be called the Junior Gemini, but is now called something else. The something. I don't know. I didn't ride it, obviously. And the Woodstock Express, which was my favorite ride when I was little. It has a lot to do for little ones. So even if you're not a big a big ride person, if you have little kids in your family, you should consider going. And they have a lot of, like, carnival type rides and stuff that we didn't get to ride, too. Like the Pipe Scream, that's like a spinning one, the Matterhorn, that kind of stuff. Yeah, I think that was it. Oh, Wilderness Run. Wilderness Run is the name of that, of the Junior Gemini that I just dead named. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and go. Thank you for listening to our vacation, Zatsu. Hope it was helpful if you're planning on going to the Sandusky, Ohio area. And we will see you guys next time. Thanks for coming. Goodbye.